Alright, a fucking season 4 of a show called Stranger Things just released. I literally just binged the last 3 seasons. I only watched the first season, and after that, I just stopped watching it. But what did you think? What do you think of Stranger Things overall? Before we talk about like the first season.
Stranger Things is I like the show a lot. I think it's a really good show. I feel like the first season really hooked me. The second season was like okay, and then this season right now, the third season was good, and then this season right now is really good. I think. I just never like when people. The only reason why I watch the show because mad people were just talking about it on social media, and I was like, this is like so random. This show is like so random. Like it's about just 4 kids, and then it kind of reminded me like it kind of gives me like the It vibe.
That's what it was like based off of like the old 80s horror movies and shit.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, like I guess like is it gonna be any good? It's like it does give off like the old 80s and 90s type vibe, and I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this, but then when I watch it, it's like, damn, this is actually pretty good. I wonder, is it? And I was wondering, was it like comics before this, or no? It was
just these I know the people who created it is like twins, and they created they literally wrote the show I think around like 2013, and then like 2 years later it just Netflix bought it and I made the show.
And then another thing is that like it kind of like when people were first explaining it to me, it kind of sounded basic. It's like, all right, it's about this girl with telekinesis powers, and she has other friends that are kids that are regular. And I was like, what's gonna make this show so fire? Like I don't get it. And then when I watched it, I was like, oh, you actually start to like the characters and shit. I feel like that's what makes the show pretty good is the characters.
Yeah, I agree.
Not the story itself.
So, after rewatching the first season again, I think the first season is perfect.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's one of the best season series of a show ever. Like, it's mad concise. Like, it's pushing the story forward. You get to know everything. Like the first episode, you pretty much find out everything about like the whole show. Like, you know what I mean? Like you get that. You find out about 11. You find out what Will is taken. You find out about the friends Dustin, Lucas. You know, you find out about the sister and the brother, Will's brother, Joyce, Hopper. You find out literally about everybody, which is dope. So, but yeah, I feel like it's weird for me because it's a different perspective for me because I literally just watched the whole show. So I remember a lot versus I know you. It was probably like you were watching when it first came out type shit.
Yeah, I don't remember the first season too well.
Yeah, so I honestly think you should rewatch the first season. I think the first season is really good. I think it's very compact story, and so how I see it is because obviously they're taking references from 80s movies and shit. So the first season is like it pretty much like the kid goes missing, you try to find out a supernatural monster. Mm-hmm. The second season is like Body Snatcher, like films like or like how can I put it? Or it's like The Exorcist too. It's like Exorcist, how he gets taken over and shit, and then like he starts freaking out and shit. And then the third season is like Body Snatchers. Have you ever seen like movies like The Thing? Like, have you seen The Thing?
I've heard of it. I've never seen it though.
So yeah, it's like movies like gory monster, like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like that's what the third movie was. The Mind Flayer was eating people and shit. Like people were melting into each other and shit. It was real like gory and shit. And then so for what I've realized this season is Freddy Krueger.
I was about to say that's Elm Street, bro.
It's Freddy Krueger. It's Freddy Krueger and like Hellraiser type vibes, like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's why I really enjoy this season. for me, it goes season 1, season 4, season 3, then season 2.
Yeah, go season. Yeah, that's the same order for me too.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's pretty. Like everybody can agree that like that's when it was like, you know.
But that's dope. That goes to show you too that like having like the guy that worked on Elm Street do the show really improved it. Because if you're saying the first one was like,
Wait, did they confirm that, or are you just assuming?
That's what I heard. I heard he was in it. I heard he was actually in the show, and I heard like the guy that did Elm Street was helping with the show.
You're talking about the creator, or you're talking about Freddy Krueger, like the actor?
The creator.
Oh,
I heard he was also like he was also involved. I don't quote me on that, but I heard that he was also involved, and then the actual actor was in it. The Freddy Krueger actor.
Who was he playing?
He was playing the blind old man.
Oh really? I didn't really recognize him.
In the cell.
Oh yeah, that's dope. Okay. So what's it called? So what did you think about season 4? I guess. Yeah. What did you think about? This is only part 1. So
yeah, it's only part 1. Yeah.
Yeah. So what did you think about it? Well, obviously we're going to spoilers. Like it's season 4 of a show. Like if you haven't watched it, it's like if you don't care that much, like you know what I mean. But yeah, we're spoiling it. Alright, so yeah, what do you think about season 4?
Season 4 was pretty good. I can't lie, like if you seen like the show On My Block, the beginning kind of reminded me of On My Block a little bit because like you kind of see all their friends like kind of separated a little bit, just a tad bit. I was like, okay, like why is Lucas on the basketball team and Dustin and Mike is not about that life? So like are they even still friends? And then they were kind of still friends, but you can kind of see that they were separating a little bit, which I found interesting. I was like, okay, how's this gonna go? And I thought it was gonna go a different route because judging by the way how Lucas was behaving, I thought he was gonna be foul and he was gonna become like a full-fledged like a jock, you know what I mean? And he was gonna betray his friends. But then
I knew he wasn't gonna. Yeah, I knew he wasn't.
Oh, you know he wasn't gonna do it?
Nah, it's because the show is very trope heavy, and what I mean by that, they like to do tropes where it's like for example, in the first season, who was the nigga with the hair? He's mad, like he was fucking with Nancy.
You talking about Nancy's boyfriend?
Yeah, Nancy's boyfriend. I don't know his name.
You talking about his ex or the
ex, not Jonathan.
The ex is
he be hanging out with Dustin.
I think he's like Steve. His name is
Steve. Okay. Yeah. So the trope was Steve was like the bully character, or whatever, and then they shifted the trope, which is like they flipped it and they made him like an interesting an interesting character, like versus like he wasn't just the typical bully. Like I feel like they do that a lot with the show. It's like they make it a trope heavy character and then they kind of like flip it on his head. So I knew he was like, yeah, he wants to be cool and shit, but I feel like he always will have to friend his back, like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
And then Steve is a player, bro. He just be bagging all the shorties and he just be breaking up with them, or like I don't know, bro. That's weird.
I mean, it makes sense. He was like a popular nigga in high school, you know.
But I kind of lost my train of thought when you said something.
All right, I guess I'll start talking about. Oh yeah, just talk about shit that you liked. Yeah, so there was Steve. You said you fucking that. The Lucas becoming popular.
Yeah, I was fucking with that because I thought it was gonna be like a friend's gonna like kind of backstab. Also, when I think about it now, like him backstabbing his friends, it wouldn't make sense to the show a little bit because eventually he would have to come back to realization like, oh shit, like I gotta help my friends because supernatural beings do exist, and that's
exactly. And I feel like because he knows like the shit behind the scenes, I don't think they'll ever flip on those niggas.
Yeah. So that makes sense. And then what I like about the show is that like how it puts you in a scenario where like you know something more than everybody else,
Yeah,
and
it tells you what's going on behind the scenes.
it actually shows you like how you should behave when you know more than other people. It's like you don't outright and say like, oh yeah, like a demon or slash monster.
It wouldn't make sense.
It wouldn't make sense. And I like how like they used the jock from the basketball team to show you like, yeah, like you're gonna sound crazy if you like fucking say some shit like that. No one's gonna ever believe you.
And it's funny how his mind went straight to like demons and devils and God and shit, which is fire, because around that time that was like a real thing. Like people were really playing Dungeons and Dragons a lot, and and like it was on the news like, yo, that shit's like sorcery, like that shit's like it's tied to murders and shit. So I think it's dope that they added that into this storyline. Like it was called like the devil scare or some shit like that. Like it was a real thing people were really scared about, like kids playing D&D.
Yeah. Another thing that I like what they did in this is that they kind of explained Jim more. Like when I seen the Jim like in the first couple of seasons, like he's a police officer. I understand police, not to disrespect police officers because you know they do shit for us, but like he's a police officer and they're making it seem like he could take on all these like experienced soldiers and extraterrestrial beings. I'm like, he's not about like a police officer that looks out of shape does not look like he could do all that. You know what I mean? I don't know. And then it kind of explains you that he was kind of like in the army and shit. So I was like, all right, that makes sense. Okay, now I can explain. But I still feel like they gas him though.
I find it funny how you have an issue with Jim, but you don't have an issue with the kids fighting the monsters.
No, I was gonna say that too. When they were fighting those flying. The thing is, the way how the kids fight the monster, it's not like I'm gonna kung fu fight the monster. It's like they're running and then they're stabbing and then they find out like some way how to kill it. Like they.
Bro, I watched the whole show. It's been happening the whole show.
They've been banging,
yes, like they've been surviving shit that they should not survive. They just know shit that they just shouldn't know. That doesn't make sense. Like I don't know. I'm not gonna dive too deep. I do have like issues with the show, but yeah,
I was thinking more of the vibe. It's like it was kind of like an It vibe. Like they kept on getting scared. Then again, I haven't seen the other seasons in a long time. I was thinking it was more of like the It vibe. They were getting scared and they were running away from the monsters, and then they were finding out the monsters' weaknesses, and that's how they beat the monster. That's not what happened. That's not usually how it goes. It's not them like trying to fight.
Well, I feel like that's pretty a basic plot of like you find, like, you know what I mean. That's a basic thing, but I'm saying like, regardless, it's a lot of 11, dude. It's a lot of this, and I was gonna say that was gonna be another factor. I was gonna say, and they had a person that has the power of telekinesis at their side. So you know what I mean. I'm just talking about overall. A lot of these, like, they don't explain why didn't the Demogorgon kill Will? They never explain that. Like, why didn't they kill him?
Maybe it's gonna be explained. Maybe it's gonna be explained later on.
No, it's not, bro. It's not. No, it's not. I put money on.
I could have swore like at the end of the season, like a bee said something to Will, right?
What? Who?
What was that tarantula looking monster?
The Mind Flayer?
Yeah.
It never spoke.
That's crazy. You're right. Damn. I thought Will was gonna actually like become like a part of the
something, right? No.
Yeah.
Will. Okay, I'm just gonna go straight into like my issues I have with this show. One, like this show. It's honestly, I think after we watching the series, I think this show should have ended at the first season. I think this show should have never went on this far, in my personal opinion, just because it feels like it's different when you're watching it in little segments, but when you're watching it overall and like you're trying to figure out what like the plot is, I still really don't know what the fuck is going on. Yeah. Like I still don't really know why some characters live and some characters die. I don't know. There's like, the fact that Will is Will and Mike are the two supposed main characters of the show, and they don't do shit for like the past 3 seasons. They haven't did shit. Well, Will did. No, Mike did he had the fucking goosebumps on his neck, so he kind of knew wherever the mind flayer was. But other than that, the nigga did nothing.
I was just about to say, like, I wonder when they're gonna dive into like the Upside Down, because it is like a huge mystery, because like you're like, okay, all right, they fought this monster, and then Vespa, and it's like, how do they correlate?
There's just things that don't make sense, and I feel like my biggest there's like a lot of issues I have just with the show, because like that's why I really truly think it should have ended at the first season, because it kind of wrapped up so tightly. Like it let you're not supposed to know what that shit is. Like you're not supposed to know what the underground is, the Upside Down is. You're not supposed to really understand what the Demogorgon is. But the fact that it's gone this long, I feel like now they have to explain it. Like now and that's that I remember we had this talk about, I think when we did the comic book versus manga shit. It's this, and I don't know, I've heard people say this word, serialization. I know it's a real thing, because one, they only wrote, it took them 2 years to write the first season.
Mm-hmm.
And like if you look it up, there's not a lot of bloopers, there's not a lot of like, because like they perfectly like directed this shit like perfect. Like that's why they really like, this was like a passion project for them, the first season. And then because they didn't even, of course, like whenever you're making something, you don't know if it's gonna be a hit or not. So of course they didn't think it was gonna be a hit. But when it became a hit, Netflix was like, yo, in the next 9 months we want a season 2.
Mm-hmm.
And they instantly started recording season 2. And then and then after season 2, they were like, yo, we want 2 more seasons of the show.
Mm-hmm.
This is why this is the final season. Like, you know what I mean? Because they only ordered 2 more seasons. Of course they could milk the franchise more, but they only ordered for 2 more seasons. So it kind of feels like, because they were forced to explain the Demogorgon and the Upside Down, like the Mind Flayer makes no fucking sense. Like if you really think about it, it's like, yo, it wants to kill. It's like, why? Like what is going the fuck on? Like you know what I mean? Like you really never understand what the fuck is going on. And I know the anticipation for this season is to finally find out what the fuck is going on, but they even throw in even more shit that doesn't even make sense. Like how the fuck does this nigga become Vecna? This nigga he falls into the Upside Down and then just gets electrocuted and he's Vecna.
Yeah.
2, how the fuck did number 1 become a worker at the place?
I was thinking that the whole time. Like, why would they make him just like
what? Like that doesn't make any fucking sense. Like 0. Like no. It's like 11. Yo, you want to work at the spot of us fucking tortured? Like, no, it doesn't make no sense, bro. The end. Think of that. Papa, that nigga died.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I know they try to just slip it, like, yo, he's back now. No, he's dead. We saw. I if you watch the first season again, the Demogorgon jumps at him. You think it licked him? Like no, like, and now he has a big ass scar. I'm like, nigga, you're not Superman, bro.
That Demogorgon, that shit would have ate him in one bite.
Bro, I just have a lot of big issues with the show. Like a lot, like, bro, the Russian shit. It's like, I don't give a fuck about none of that. That shit is not strange to me. I'm trying to go to the Stranger Things. Like, you feel me? Like, the
I feel like they just try to add some more action into the show.
And that's what I mean. It's like they're forced to do that. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, bro. No, 8. Where's she at? Like, where's she at?
Yo, I was saying about the Russian thing. I was saying like him like beating up all those soldiers and making that huge explosion. I was like,
bro, the kids snuck in there and they were down there for like a week or something like that.
Yeah.
Come on. Bro. And you're telling me the mom wasn't like, where the fuck is my 9-year-old daughter at? like there's a lot of things in the show that really piss me off and doesn't make sense. I'm sorry, but it's like just like you said, it's like the show lives off of like the characters and shit.
Yeah.
But the sucky part about rewatching the show is like find out like this is like they don't do a lot. Like it's a lot of like the plot pushing it forward, not like the characters pushing it forward. Like they're like, yo, wait, this is a Demogorgon from Dungeons and Dragons. It's like, yes, it is. It's like, oh, okay, I guess.
That's what I was gonna ask you. It was like, yo, all the monsters from the
nigga, what? Like, that's my point. It don't make
Yeah.
sense, bro. It doesn't. Like, they weren't.
That's why I was asking someone. I was like, yo, like, do you think the person that created the game, like, created the Upside Down or something?
Like, that would have to make sense because everything that they learn is from Dungeons. It's a mind flayer. He comes from different universes and he takes over. It's like, how the fuck do you know that? I know that. So we're just supposed to believe you? Like, we're just supposed to believe a little ass nigga? Like,
I was saying something about the board game has to do with the creation of the Upside Down, I think, or someone's been in the Upside Down world before and they.
But what they just talked about this season was that. It seems like the Upside Down was created the day Will got taken or some shit. Like, you know what I mean? Because they're like, yo, we're like back in time. Like, this is the time I didn't have any guns. You remember when she said that?
Yeah.
She was like, this notebook is supposed to be filled, but it's only up to the day that Will got captured. Like, that was the day that it was like.
That's true.
It seems like the day that 11 broke out and opened the gate that's when it like created like.
But not, it had to exist because Vespa was in there.
Oh fucking.
Right?
I don't know, bro.
It's confusing because Vespa was there and that was a long time ago, isn't it? When he went back into there. I'm assuming it's before when Will existed. He was in there.
Right? You think that, right?
Yeah.
It's just he's like, I was a different type of nigga. I used to like watching the spiders and then they became the ultimate predator. I'm like, I was watching it, I was like, oh, I don't like what the fuck is going on? Like this nigga create like, and the funniest part is they said that the Mind Flayer is the top nigga and Vector is just a general. It's like, so y'all. Did y'all defeat the Mind Flayer or y'all didn't defeat the Mind Flayer? It's like, is the Mind Flayer still around or is he not around? What is the goal of Vector? What is Vector's goal? So he's a human, so it's like his goals are separate from the Mind Flayer's goals. Like,
I thought Vespa's his ideas was like annihilating like the human species because they were not like superior beings or something like that.
Sure, but like, what does that have to play in the ultimate goal of the Mind Flayer? Because they said the Mind Flayer is the top nigga. So what is the Mind Flayer's goal was like he just wants to kill everybody. That's what Will said when he's like he just wants to kill everybody. It's like, why didn't he kill you, nigga? Like, what are you? Like, there's just. And then Joyce, like, that's why all the characters were in their peak in the first season. Like Joyce being like the mother, like, I need my son. Nigga, that shit got old the third season. Like, bitch, when are you gonna really like?
But the thing is though, it's like what gives me hope is like I don't think someone would make a show like that and just like not think about how it's gonna tie all in the end. I feel like there's a reason why it's a mystery. It's probably supposed to keep you hooked on to keep on watching to find out. Because a lot of things you were saying, I was like, if we're thinking it, they had to have thought of that.
But listen to me. Like I said, right? I'm trying to think of it for like another type of show. Put it in any type of scenario, like yo, like right, you've been writing Naruto your whole life, and then like you find out it becomes a hit, and then now you're forced to really tie up all the loose ends when they were supposed to be ambiguous. Like, you know what I mean? They were supposed to be. That's the scary part. Like, you don't know what the fuck is going on. The nigga, when he created the first season, he said he compared the Demogorgon to Jaws. Like, he would just come out, grab you, and then pull you back in, like, type shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was supposed to be a horror monster, like, type. Like, it wasn't supposed to have. It was supposed to be like a predator, like. Mm-hmm. But like, once you find out that there's like hierarchies, you're like, so all the Demogorgon, the Demogorgon dogs, they grow up and become Demogorgons, right? So if Vector is controlling the Demogorgon, so because the Demogorgons are like the soldiers, and they said Vector is like the general, and then they said the Mind Flayer is like the top. So does that mean Vector was here from the beginning? Right, he was. So why did he start killing now versus before? Like, there's this. That's what I mean. Like, there's a lot. I didn't even speak on 11. Like, bro, she's just broken. She breaks the show, bro. She breaks the show. Like, there's the only tension. That's why I feel like they added in the nosebleed to make it seem like it's hurting her or some shit. But the bitch was doing a lot, bro. Shutting doors and blowing people up, like flipping whips and shit. Like, she was doing a lot. It's like that's why I appreciate the first season, because she quote unquote died. But they left it open, like she could come back, she died, she could come back. That's why I really believe that the show should have just ended at the first season. Like, it was such a perfect like thing that. But I do appreciate the show. Like, I do like throughout the show. Like, I like the aesthetic, I like the characters. Obviously, I like the you know what I mean. I appreciate that they did more, but it's just like you could tell that they didn't have a map.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. That's just how I felt. Like, it feels discombobulated, and I know I'm not gonna get the answers I want from the final season, because I did not know this is part 1. I thought it was over. I was tight.
Oh, for real?
I almost smashed my shit. Like, nigga, it just aimed at his arm and it said 1, and then it shut. I was like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Like, and then like the Joyce breaking into a Russian facility to like, bro, come on, man, come on. This nigga's breaking his ankles to like do it. Like, I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I know we're not gonna get the answers we want.
I just really want to know, why did he end up in Russia? Like,
I think it was. This is what I'm assuming. When that shit exploded, he probably went through the portal out and then went out to Russia. Does that make sense? Like, I think he went through the portal and then it ended up into the Russian version. And then that's when they found him on the floor. That's what I'm assuming. They obviously
there has to be a reason why there's a portal to Russia.
And why he didn't die when everybody else got obliterated.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to say. It's like, it showed you like a cutscene of him like jumping out of the way and on the floor, like, nah.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You know, like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm getting tired of like that 11 face. So I'm serious. That shit gonna be tight.
I wish they would make her like kind of more like fresh, like
just something like
kind of like how one was fighting. Like, one was like kind of actually like moving people around. Like, she's just always screaming and doing one scene and her screaming. And that's it.
Everything exploded. I feel like would have been dope is if they made her powers like visible, like you could see what it is, because it's a lot of just her just screaming and it looks stupid in my opinion. It was cool when it was like a kid, but now that it's like she's like an adult doing it, it just looks weird.
You know what I thought too? I thought there were gonna be other kids with different powers. That's what I thought.
What happened to 8?
Yeah.
What happened to her? That whole storyline with her friends and the big black brolic nigga. Like, what happened to all them niggas? Like, what happened to that?
I don't know.
This is dumb, right? You find out like there was, of course, she's number 11. So like you're like, okay, clearly they went up to 11 or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? We're supposed to assume that they all died. Like, you know what I mean? Like, cause we don't see any kids with her in the first season. We don't see any kids with her, any mention of any other kids. It was all her. That's why they were killing niggas just to find her, right? They're not killing niggas to find 8. They're killing niggas or number 1. They're killing niggas to find her. So we're supposed to assume that she's the only one.
I was gonna ask you a question too, because you know how the whole theory how one just magically had powers randomly, and then like
so random, yeah.
Did they give the other kids one's abilities, or were the other kids just have powers? That's what I was confused.
I think they explained that, but that shit probably went over my head. I'm assuming
because I was talking to someone, and I thought, from what I remember, that they drew blood from one, and then they started the project.
What I'm assuming, the way he was talking, it was like they were like his clones or something. Like, not clones, but they were like, I know they're missing children, but they're doing experiments on them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, but that's the thing that they literally specifically talk about how 11's mom was in project that project shit where it was fucking with people's minds. You remember what I'm talking about?
I don't remember that.
What's that mind control shit that people always talk about, that conspiracy? Oh my god, Steven, come on. Like MK Ultra? Yeah, MK Ultra. Have you ever heard of that?
No, I never heard of that. What's that?
Oh, you need to like grow up, bro. Yo, MK Ultra, it's like a conspiracy / like real thing that the government, they were like torturing people, trying to like create, like they were trying to figure out mind control. Like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think this is back in like the 50s. Like it's a real thing to a degree. Like they were like having people like sleep deprived, trying to like giving them drugs and shit, like trying to like see if they can like, you know, create X-Men type shit. This is like, you know what I mean? You know how niggas is. So yeah, so that's what her mom, 11's mom, was in. Like they were doing shit like that to her. And then I think that's why they explained why she had, like, they took her baby. I don't know, man. That's the thing, like the more you think about this show, it's like the more shit don't make sense. Like, how the fuck did this random bitch from fucking the mall decipher Russian? What? What? In one day.
I can't lie, bro. When I was watching this show, I was like, man, maybe I should learn Morse code. Like,
nah, I was thinking that too, but like, nigga, I could just text you if it's right. If it's not bad.
Like, it's like, yeah, I'm really gonna look at a light flickering. I'm like, oh yeah, that's Morse code. I don't know.
Oh yeah, but yeah, that's all I stand out. Even though I really enjoy season 4, I still stand that they should have ended this in season 1. I still believe so. I'm not the only one. Like, if you look it up, it's like an actual thing online. Mm-hmm. I do believe that it should have ended this.
But I think they probably knew like it wasn't gonna make sense, but people still were gonna mess with the show. So
yeah, because it became such a phenomenon overnight, like literally overnight. Like it won like awards and shit, and it was mad cheap to make. So anything that's cheap to make that makes that much money, you gotta get on it.
I don't get why do they do that? Why do they maybe it's because the directors choose to leave, but like why do they always pick new people to like cover seasons and stuff like that? Why don't they just
it's different. It's different for shows than for movies. Like overall, it's like directed by 2 people, but like some they'll have people direct an episode. Like literally.
Has there ever been like a movie series where it's been the same person throughout the whole series?
Yeah, most likely, yeah.
Because I feel like
James Gunn, I think he did Peacemaker.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That is true. He did do. The thing is though, cause I just want like, cause like when you have two different people doing like shows, they're not gonna fully understand the other person's like intent. So it's gonna be a totally different thing, and it can ruin the show.
But that's just how it works nowadays, you know. Like, you know, it just that's the whole point of like serializations. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta it has to work. Like it has to come out. That's the whole point. It has to come out.
I know Zack Snyder's not like the DC guy, but what if he just did all the DC movies? How would that turn out? Like it would make.
I would love to find out, but they kicked him because Batman versus Superman didn't make as much money as people thought it would.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, they thought it was gonna be a banger, but it really wasn't. So after that, they were like, yo, I don't know, man. I don't know about you.
I just feel like one person has to focus, like at least have a partner, like have two directors focus on doing everything. But that's a lot of work. That's the problem.
I mean, that's what Marvel had. Kevin Feige, he was like the overall head of Marvel.
Yeah.
You know.
Because it'll make everything more cohesive. I feel like.
All right, but yeah, what would you rate this season so far?
I would rate it
1 out of 10.
I would rate it. I liked it better than the second season. It's in second place in terms of seasons. I would rate it like a solid 7.5.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, 7.5 to 8. It's really good, but there's just like I don't know. There's just a lot about the series overall that I feel like a lot of the hype is going to be like finding out what's really happening, and I feel like we're not throwing this nigga in here is fucking up everything. Like you know what I mean?
It's kind of funny because like the first season, like I was really hooked onto the TV, and this one I was kind of like scrolling through my phone and
watching. The Russia scenes, oh my god!
Yeah.
I was just like, even though I think that nigga's funny as shit. The crazy nigga with the alcohol, he does karate and shit. That nigga's funny. But other than that, it's enough.
Glamour of wearing diamonds.
Diamonds bring
Status.
elegance and prestige. Their brilliance makes